thank you so much for being here with us tonight. Congratulations with this beautiful film, Smashed. How did the script find its way to you, and what attracted you to the role?
I was kind of outwardly seeking independent projects and trying to meet people who were doing independent films. One of the first people I met when I was out on my quest to meet those kind of people was one of the producers, Jonathan Schwartz, and was like, please send me any scripts that you're working on. So he sent me a couple, and one of them was Smashed, and I just freaked out over it and called him immediately and was like, please, let me audition for this. I also had a meeting with James, the director, that went really well, and they didn't audition anyone else. They just kind of trusted me, and they liked the tape, and it's still amazing to think that they just kind of put that faith in me without seeing every single other actress in town, which is what usually happens.
What sort of research did you do to prepare for the part?
The first thing I started doing was going with Susan, our co-writer, and also one of our producers, Elise, who are both in AA and in recovery, to meetings as their guest, and it was amazing. It was just, instantly relatable. All of those stories and everybody in those rooms were just so funny and interesting and different from one another, and it just was so obvious to me what a universal struggle it is, and just how much you can relate to the idea of trying to be a better person and trying to figure out what your flaws are and how to accept them and how to love them and just grow.
What was the hardest scene for you to shoot?
It's very hard to choose because they really all felt equally challenging. One scene that just got pushed, I think, to a place that I was kind of not expecting was the scene where Megan fires me because James also pushed her to a really extreme emotional place. And by the end of it, we were both just like exhausting and crying. But it wasn't the type of scene where you could really completely break down. Like, you have to kind of keep some sort of strength about it. So that's almost harder sometimes when you're really being pushed to this extreme emotional place, but you can't just give into it. You have to try and push through it. And also the way James worked was so great because he would just leave the camera rolling almost all the time. I mean, there's not really much improvised in the film, but we improvised so much on set because he just wouldn't call cut. The scene wouldn't stop when you think it was going to stop. So it kind of forced us to all be really comfortable in these characters and to just kind of go whatever direction it was going to go at any given moment.
Question about the casting of Aaron Paul.
He was definitely one of the top choices from the beginning. I know that Susan, the co-writer, actually thought of him when she was writing the script. So I met him and just instantly just thought he was the sweetest, nicest guy and just so open. I knew immediately he would be fantastic to work with. And then we went out for drinks, for a lot of drinks.
Method.
A couple days before we started shooting. But that was really our only time we had. We had no rehearsal time or anything. We just went out and got drunk together, and then we were like, all right, we're in it.
Was Sundance the first time you saw it with an audience?
It was, yeah.
And what was that experience like?
It was so amazing. I started crying as the credits, like the opening credits came up on the screen, because it was just such a big deal for me. I'd had hugely exciting moments where I got to be in a big film, and like, how cool is that? But never anything that I had such a deep personal connection to, so it was a completely different experience.